The jingle of coins, the scent of warm sponge. Back then, a trip to the high street was a little adventure. Neon signs flickered, aisles brimmed with treats, and ordinary moments felt magical. From first pocket money spent to birthdays celebrated in sweet shops, these stores held more than products. They held memories. Yet one small detail often goes unnoticed, a story hiding in plain sight. Today we'll stroll down those vanished aisles, reliving the smells, sounds, and little rituals of a Britain that's gone, and uncover the secret that might surprise you. Neon nights, TGI, Fridays UK, the clink of glasses, the sizzle from the open kitchen, the smell of fries and sweet cocktails. TGI Fridays wasn't just a restaurant, it was a stage for life's little celebrations. Families wandered in after work, friends spilled out laughter after school, all drawn by neon lights and the thrill of something different. Burgers and ribs were only the start. Behind the glossy menus and bustling tables were birthdays marked with smiles, first dates shared nervously, and weekend escapes from routine. It was ordinary life made special, a backdrop for countless memories. After a period of administration, the UK footprint changed dramatically, with many locations closing, yet Fridays lives on in select spots and online. The neon glow may be quieter now, but for those who remember, the smells, the laughter, and the quirks of Fridays still linger, tiny sparks of a decade defined by casual dining and shared neon-lit nights. Everyday treats, body care, the soft jingle of the doorbell, the clean scent of lotions and powders, rows of colourful bottles and jars glimmering under the shop lights. Stepping into body care felt like a little high street haven. Families wandered in together, browsing for birthdays, school treats, or just because it felt special. Affordable creams, shampoos, and bath bubbles might have seemed practical at first glance, but the magic was in the moments. A mother letting her child pick a scented soap, friends debating lip gloss shades, teenagers discovering their first perfume. Ordinary trips turned unforgettable, little rituals woven into daily life. After a period of administration, the UK footprint changed dramatically, with many stores closing, yet memories remain vivid. The scent of vanilla lotion, the sparkle of glittery nail polish, the gentle jingle of the doorbell, these small joys linger, reminders of a high street alive with simple pleasures, cheerful indulgence, and shared moments that shaped a generation. Glitter aisles. Claire's Accessories UK. The chime of the door, glittering display cases, the scent of plastic and newness. Walking into Claire's Accessories felt like stepping into a treasure trove. Friends wandered the aisles together, fingers brushing earrings, bracelets, and hair clips, each choice a tiny adventure. Bright, affordable trinkets might have seemed simple at first glance, but behind the shiny bins were rituals of discovery. The thrill of a first piercing, choosing the perfect birthday gift, or giggling over costume jewellery with friends. For families and teenagers alike, ordinary trips became magical, small moments woven into everyday life. After a period of administration, the UK footprint changed dramatically, with many stores closing, yet memories linger. Sequined hairbands, the jingle of charm bracelets, and the joy of simple fashion indulgences remain vivid. Though Claire's isn't what it once was, its sparkle survives in memory, the cheerful, glittering rituals of childhood that shaped so many of us. Style Streets, River Island, UK. The hum of the high street, the rustle of hangers, the scent of new clothes. Walking into River Island felt like stepping into a ritual of style. Teenagers browsed for the perfect jacket. Families scanned shelves for jeans or party outfits, each visit a small adventure. Rows of trendy clothes, shoes, and accessories might have seemed practical at first glance. But behind the racks were stories. Friends giggling over new outfits, siblings debating which trainers matched best, parents quietly observing the excitement of growing fashion tastes. Ordinary visits became unforgettable moments, woven into the rhythms of everyday life. After a period of administration, the UK footprint changed dramatically, with several stores closing, yet memories remain vivid. The feel of soft cotton, the sparkle of sequins under bright lights, the thrill of trying something new. These sensations linger. River Island may have shifted, but its texture, laughter, and high street excitement survive in memory. A generation defined by style and shared moments. Bargain Bliss, Poundland, UK. The clatter of trolleys, the hum of fluorescent lights, the faint scent of candy and cleaning supplies. Stepping into Poundland felt like opening a treasure chest on the high street. Families wandered together, kids scanning shelves for treats, birthday cards, or little surprises, each visit a tiny adventure. Everything priced at £1 might have seemed practical at first glance, but behind the jars, toys and snacks were small stories. Children comparing sweets, teenagers picking quirky gadgets, parents hunting bargains to stretch the weekly budget. Ordinary trips became exciting, little rituals woven into everyday life. After a period of administration, the UK footprint changed dramatically, with several stores closing, yet memories remain vivid. The thrill of discovering a bargain, the bright packaging, the delight of a spontaneous treat, these sensations linger. Poundland may have shifted, but its charm, shared smiles, and high street adventures survive in memory. The generation defined by the simple pleasures and joyful discovery. DIY Dreams, Homebase UK, the smell of timber, the clatter of tools, the hum of fluorescent lights. Stepping into Homebase felt like entering a world of possibility. Families and hobbyists wandered the aisles together, imagining new projects, choosing paint colours, or comparing garden furniture. Each visit a small adventure. Shelves stacked with tools, plants, and DIY essentials might have seemed practical at first glance, but behind the displays were tiny stories. A father teaching his child to pick the right hammer, friends planning weekend makeovers, couples dreaming of a brighter, cozier home. Ordinary trips became full of promise, little rituals woven into daily life. After a period of administration, the UK footprint changed dramatically, with many stores closing, yet memories linger. The scent of fresh timber, the sparkle of new paint, the thrill of planning a project, these moments remain vivid. Homebase may have shifted, but its spirit of creativity, domestic ambition, and shared DIY discovery survives in memory. Underfoot comfort, Carpetright UK, the soft thud of footsteps on freshly laid carpet, the faint smell of new fibres, the gleam of patterned rolls stacked high. Stepping into Carpetright felt like touching the promise of a cozier home. Families and first-time movers wandered the aisles, testing textures, imagining rooms, and planning new beginnings, each visit a small adventure. Carpets, rugs, and flooring for every budget might have seemed practical at first glance, but behind the counters and swatches were tiny stories. A mother debating soft beige versus bold patterns, siblings squealing over a playful rug, couples dreaming of warmth and comfort underfoot. Ordinary trips became memorable moments, little rituals woven into everyday life. After a period of administration, the UK footprint changed dramatically, with many stores closing, yet memories remain vivid. The plush texture underfoot, the swirl of colours, the delight of crafting a welcoming space, these sensations linger. Carpetright may have shifted, but its legacy of comfort, family moments, and tactile home pleasures survives in memory. Luxury lanes, matches, fashion. UK. The rustle of tissue paper, the faint scent of leather and perfume, the gleam of carefully stacked shoes. Stepping into Matches fashion felt like entering a miniature world of luxury. Fashion lovers and curious shoppers wandered the aisles, admiring displays, imagining new outfits, each visit a small adventure. Designer clothing, shoes and accessories might have seemed practical at first glance, but behind the counters and glossy displays were tiny stories. A teenager picking out their first branded bag, friends comparing handbags, couples trying on shoes and imagining nights out. Ordinary trips became moments of wonder, little rituals woven into everyday life. After a period of administration, the UK footprint changed dramatically, with several stores closing, yet memories remain vivid. The feel of soft fabrics, the shine of polished shoes, the thrill of high street fashion, these sensations linger. Matches fashion may have shifted, but its legacy of style, aspiration, and shared shopping moments survives in memory. Minimalist moments, Muji, UK. The soft rustle of paper, the faint scent of wood and stationery, the quiet hum of shoppers. Stepping into Muji felt like entering a calm, orderly world. Students, families, and design lovers wandered the aisles, testing pens, flipping notebooks, and marvelling at the simplicity of everyday items, each visit a quiet ritual. Shelves of stationery, home goods, and simple clothing might have seemed practical at first glance, but behind the neat displays were small stories. A student picking the perfect notebook for a new semester, parents discovering storage solutions that transformed their homes, friends admiring the understated elegance of minimalist design. Ordinary visits became soothing, memorable experiences, little rituals woven into daily life. After a period of administration, the UK footprint changed dramatically, with stores closing and the high street noticeably emptier, yet memories linger vividly. The tactile feel of notebooks, the smooth glide of pens, the quiet joy of thoughtful design, these sensations remain. Muji may have shifted, but its minimalist charm and mindful approach to everyday living survive in memory. Playful elegance, Ted Baker, UK. The gentle rustle of silk, the subtle scent of polished leather, the soft hum of high street chatter. Stepping into Ted Baker felt like entering a world of playful elegance. Fashion lovers and casual shoppers wandered the aisles, touching fabrics, admiring prints and patterns that balanced whimsy with sophistication. Each visit a small delight. Neatly arranged shirts, dresses, and accessories might have seemed practical at first glance, but behind the polished counters were tiny stories. Friends choosing the perfect outfit for a night out, couples debating the right tie or scarf, teenagers discovering prints and colours that expressed personality. Ordinary visits became magical moments, little rituals woven into daily life. After a period of administration, the UK footprint changed dramatically, with multiple stores closing, yet memories remain vivid. The feel of soft fabrics, the gleam of polished shoes, the thrill of finding a statement piece. These sensations linger. Ted Baker may have shifted, but its legacy of style, individuality, and British high street charm survives in memory. Everyday indulgence, The Body Shop, UK. The soft clink of glass jars, the scent of citrus, vanilla, and flowers. The quiet buzz of shoppers browsing. Stepping into The Body Shop felt like discovering a little oasis on the high street. Families, teenagers, and beauty lovers wandered the aisles, testing lotions, soaps, and bath bubbles. Each visit a small moment of delight. Creams, scrubs, and affordable beauty essentials might have seemed practical at first glance, but behind the colourful displays were tiny stories. Friends comparing scents, parents choosing treats for birthdays, children mesmerised by vibrant soaps. Ordinary trips became comforting rituals, little joys woven into everyday life. After a period of administration, the UK footprint changed dramatically, with several stores closing, yet memories linger vividly. The scent of citrus lotion, the feel of creamy scrubs, the delight of treating yourself, these sensations remain. The Body Shop may have shifted, but its legacy of simple indulgence, high street charm, and shared everyday moments survives in memory. Care around the corner, Lloyd's Pharmacy, UK. The soft chime of the door, the faint scent of medicinal creams and soap, the gentle hum of shoppers browsing. Stepping into Lloyd's Pharmacy felt like entering a small, dependable world on the high street. Families and local residents wandered the aisles, picking up remedies, vitamins, or little comforts, each visit a quiet ritual. Rows of over-the-counter medicines, toiletries, and health essentials might have seemed practical at first glance, but behind the counters were tiny stories. A mother carefully choosing a cold remedy for her child, friends selecting skincare essentials, older generations asking advice from familiar pharmacists. Ordinary visits became reassuring moments, little rituals woven into everyday life. After a period of administration, some UK locations closed, leaving familiar neighbourhood stops emptier, yet memories linger vividly. The scent of creams, the gentle advice from staff, the quiet sense of care, these sensations remain. Lloyd's Pharmacy may have shifted, but its legacy of trust, convenience, and shared small moments survives in memory. Heart of the High Street, Debenhams, UK. The hum of escalators, the rustle of shopping bags, the scent of perfume and freshly stocked clothing. Stepping into Debenhams felt like entering the heartbeat of the high street. Families, teenagers, and fashion lovers wandered through floors of clothing, homeware, and beauty, each visit a small adventure of discovery. Neatly arranged clothes, cosmetics, and kitchenware might have seemed practical at first glance, but behind the counters and displays were tiny stories. Friends trying on coats for the first snowfall, parents choosing birthday gifts, siblings comparing gadgets, children mesmerised by window displays. Ordinary trips became magical moments, little rituals woven into everyday life. After a period of administration, many UK stores closed, leaving once bustling floors eerily quiet, yet memories linger vividly. The feel of new clothes, the scent of perfume, the delight of discovering treasures across floors, these sensations remain. Debenhams may have shifted, but its legacy of shopping wonder, high street excitement, and shared family moments survives in memory. Trend-setting aisles, Topshop UK. The hum of music, the rustle of racks, the scent of fresh clothing. Stepping into Topshop felt like entering a world where style met excitement. Teenagers, young adults, and fashion lovers wandered the aisles, hunting for the latest trends, trying on outfits with friends, each visit a small adventure of self-expression. Neatly arranged tops, jeans and accessories might have seemed practical at first glance, but behind the racks and fitting rooms were tiny stories. Friends swapping fashion tips, teenagers experimenting with personal style, parents watching quietly as kids navigated their first high street shopping adventure. Ordinary visits became thrilling moments, little rituals woven into everyday life. After a period of administration, several UK stores closed, marking the end of an era, yet memories remain vivid. The feel of soft fabrics, the excitement of trying on a new outfit, the joy of discovering trends with friends, these sensations linger. Topshop may have shifted, but its legacy of youthful style, laughter, and high street discovery survives in memory. Stylish dreams made .com UK, the scent of fresh timber, the soft rustle of packaging, the quiet buzz of shoppers exploring furniture displays. Stepping into Made.com felt like entering a world of possibility. Families, couples, and design lovers wandered the aisles, imagining living rooms, bedrooms, and kitchens transformed, each visit a small adventure of creativity. Neatly arranged chairs, tables, and home accessories might have seemed practical at first glance, but behind the displays were tiny stories. A couple choosing the perfect sofa for their first home, friends debating colour palettes, families discovering clever storage solutions that were both stylish and useful. Ordinary visits became inspiring moments, little rituals woven into everyday life. After a period of administration, many stores closed, leaving homes without the furniture once dreamt about from the high street, yet memories remain vivid. The texture of soft fabrics, the gleam of polished surfaces, the thrill of planning a perfect home, these sensations linger. Made.com may have shifted, but its legacy of style, comfort, and shared domestic creativity survives in memory. Playful curiosity, the Gadget Shop UK, the soft beep of cash registers, the gleam of plastic and metal, the faint scent of electronics. Stepping into the Gadget Shop felt like entering a playground for the curious. Children, teenagers, and gadget lovers wandered the aisles, testing toys, novelty items, and quirky inventions. Each visit a small adventure of discovery. Shelves filled with clocks, gadgets, and small electronics might have seemed practical at first glance, but behind the displays were tiny stories. A child's excitement at discovering a new toy, friends comparing novelty items, parents indulging in whimsical purchases. Ordinary visits became magical moments, little rituals woven into everyday life. After a period of administration, many UK locations closed, leaving high streets noticeably quieter, yet memories remain vivid. The feel of novelty gadgets in hand, the laughter of discovery, the thrill of finding something unexpected. These sensations linger. The Gadget Shop may have vanished from many streets, but its legacy of curiosity, delight, and playful exploration survives in memory. High street tech haven Dixons, UK, the hum of televisions, the click of buttons, the faint scent of new electronics. Stepping into Dixons felt like entering a world of endless possibilities. Families, teenagers, and tech enthusiasts wandered the aisles, testing radios, cameras, and gadgets that promised a glimpse of the future. Each visit a small adventure of discovery. Rows of appliances, audio equipment, and cameras might have seemed practical at first glance, but behind the counters and shelves were tiny stories. Parents buying their first VCR, teenagers marveling at the latest stereo, siblings exploring the wonder of new technology together. Ordinary visits became thrilling moments, little rituals woven into everyday life. After a period of administration, several UK stores closed, marking the end of an era, yet memories remain vivid. The feel of a new gadget in hand, the smell of freshly unboxed electronics, the excitement of exploring technology, these sensations linger. Dixons may have shifted, but its legacy of curiosity, innovation, and high street excitement survives in memory. Heart of tradition, Dewhurst the Butcher. UK, the clink of butcher's scales, the gleam of polished counters, the scent of freshly cut meat. Stepping into Dewhurst felt like entering a world of tradition and quality. Families, neighbours, and Sunday roasters queued together for joints, sausages, and chops, each visit a small ritual of everyday life. Neatly wrapped cuts, hanging hams, and gleaming knives might have seemed practical at first glance, but behind the counters were tiny stories. A father choosing the Sunday roast, children peering over the marble counter, friendly banter with the butcher. Ordinary trips became comforting moments, little rituals woven into daily life. Once the largest butcher chain in the UK, Dewhurst eventually closed as supermarkets grew and shopping habits changed. What was once everywhere has almost vanished, yet memories linger vividly. The feel of a butcher's apron, the sound of cleavers, the warmth of a local shop, these sensations remain. Dewhurst may have disappeared from high streets, but its legacy of community, quality and shared meals survives in memory. Stepping out in style, Freeman, Hardy and Willis, UK. The soft thud of shoes on linoleum floors, the faint scent of leather and polish, the quiet hum of shoppers browsing, stepping into Freeman, Hardy and Willis felt like entering a hub of high street fashion. And in families, teenagers and working professionals wandered the aisles, trying on shoes, debating sizes, and discovering that perfect pair, each visit a small ritual of everyday life. Rows of shoes, boots, and accessories might have seemed practical at first glance, but behind the counters and displays were tiny stories. Parents selecting school shoes for their children, teenagers experimenting with style, friends sharing advice on comfort and fashion. Ordinary visits became memorable moments, little rituals woven into high street routines. Freeman, Hardy and Willis eventually closed, leaving familiar locations empty, yet memories remain vivid. The feel of soft leather, the excitement of a new pair of shoes, the joy of stepping out in style, these sensations linger. The brand may have disappeared from high streets, but its legacy of fashion, comfort and shared moments survives in memory. High street innovation, Rumbelows UK, the hum of appliances, the clatter of cash registers, the faint scent of new electronics. Stepping into Rumbelows felt like entering a miniature world of technology and discovery. Families, teenagers and gadget enthusiasts wandered the aisles, testing radios, TVs and kitchen gadgets that promised convenience and excitement, each visit a small adventure of everyday life. Neatly arranged electronics and household appliances might have seemed practical at first glance, but behind the counters and displays were tiny stories. Parents choosing the latest kitchen gadget, teenagers marveling at new audio equipment, friends discovering quirky electronic toys together. Ordinary visits became thrilling moments, little rituals woven into high street routines. Rumbelows eventually closed, leaving a noticeable void on the high street, yet memories remain vivid. The feel of a new gadget in hand, the excitement of unboxing electronics, the joy of exploring technology, these sensations linger. Rumbelows may have disappeared from high streets, but its legacy of curiosity, innovation and shared discovery survives in memory. Dreams of faraway places, Thomas Cook, UK, the rustle of brochures, the hum of excited chatter, the faint scent of paper and polished counters. Stepping into Thomas Cook felt like opening a window to the world. Families, couples and first-time travellers wandered the aisles, browsing holiday packages, dreaming of sandy beaches, or imagining snowy mountain escapes. Each visit a small adventure of anticipation. Neatly stacked brochures, flight tickets and travel essentials might have seemed practical at first glance, but behind the counters were tiny stories. Parents planning summer getaways, teenagers anticipating adventures abroad, couples imagining honeymoon destinations. Ordinary visits became magical moments, little rituals woven into everyday life. Thomas Cook, once a giant of the UK travel industry, eventually collapsed, leaving many high street branches empty, yet memories remain vivid. The feel of a glossy brochure, the excitement of booking a trip, the joy of dreaming of new horizons, these sensations linger. Thomas Cook may have vanished from high streets, but its legacy of exploration, anticipation and shared travel dreams survives in memory. Building dreams, Stuart Milne Group, UK. The hum of construction, the scent of fresh timber, the sight of scaffolding. Stuart Milne Group wasn't just about houses, it was about creating futures. Families, first-time buyers and communities wandered through show homes, imagining life in a new street, picturing routines, milestones and ordinary moments. Each visit felt like stepping into possibility itself. Rows of houses, neat gardens and well-laid streets might have seemed practical at first glance, but behind each development were tiny stories. Parents envisioning Sunday mornings in sunlit kitchens, children racing down hallways, couples imagining celebrations in new living rooms. Ordinary visits became hopeful moments, little rituals woven into everyday dreams. Stuart Milne Group recently scaled back operations in the UK, reflecting shifts in the housing market, yet memories linger vividly. The feel of polished wood underhand, the vision of a front door opening to a new life, the excitement of moving in, these sensations remain. Stuart Milne may be less visible on high streets, but its legacy of aspiration, comfort and shared beginnings survives in memory. Crafting spaces, Buckingham Group, UK, the echo of footsteps on steel beams, the hum of machinery, the smell of fresh concrete. Stepping onto a Buckingham Group site felt like witnessing creation in motion. Families, communities and professionals watched buildings rise, roads take shape and landscapes transform. Each visit or observation felt like stepping into progress itself. Construction sites, machinery and scaffolding might have seemed practical at first glance, but behind every project were tiny stories. Engineers coordinating teams, workers shaping structures with care, communities imagining how new spaces would fit into daily life. Ordinary moments became inspiring, little rituals of observation and anticipation woven into everyday routines. Buckingham Group, once a major force in UK construction, has faced challenges as the sector shifted, leaving certain projects paused or reshaped, yet memories linger vividly. The sight of steel frameworks, the rhythmic sound of hammers, the promise of new streets and homes, these sensations endure. Buckingham Group may be less prominent today, but its legacy of ambition, craftsmanship and tangible creation survives in memory. Building the future, ISG UK. The hum of drills, the shuffle of blueprints, the smell of fresh paint. Stepping onto an ISG site felt like witnessing transformation in real time. Businesses, communities and professionals watched offices, retail outlets and large-scale developments take shape. Each project felt like stepping into progress itself. Scaffolding, tools and construction materials might have seemed practical at first glance, but behind every site were tiny stories. Architects collaborating with engineers, workers shaping interiors with precision, clients imagining the routines and milestones that would fill new spaces. Ordinary observations became moments of anticipation, little rituals of design and creation woven into everyday life. ISG, once a leading force in UK construction and fit-out projects, has faced challenges in a shifting industry, yet memories linger vividly. The sight of sleek interiors taking shape, the rhythmic sound of construction, the promise of functional spaces, these sensations endure. ISG may be less visible today, but its legacy of innovation, craftsmanship and tangible progress survives in memory. Building dreams, Dornus, UK. The hum of machinery, the scent of fresh timber and asphalt, the shuffle of workers on site. Stepping onto a Dornus project felt like stepping into a world where communities were being shaped. Families, local residents and professionals watched roads, bridges and buildings take form, each project promising a better connected neighbourhood. Construction sites, cranes and scaffolding might have seemed practical at first glance, but behind every project were tiny stories. Engineers coordinating teams, workers carefully laying foundations, families imagining life in new streets. Ordinary observations became moments of hope, little rituals of progress woven into everyday life. Dornus, once a prominent construction and civil engineering company in the UK, faced financial difficulties and eventually collapsed. What was once everywhere has almost vanished without a trace. Yet for those who remember, the sight of structures rising, the rhythmic sounds of work and the promise of community growth linger vividly. It faded away, but its memory still defines a generation of craftsmanship, ambition, and shared dreams built brick by brick. Fashion, at your fingertips, in the style. UK, the click of a mouse, the soft glow of a screen, the thrill of scrolling through endless outfits. Stepping into In the Style felt like entering a world of instant fashion discovery. Teenagers, young adults, and trend seekers wandered virtually, browsing collections, imagining new looks, and clicking add to basket with friends cheering in chat bubbles. Online categories might have seemed practical at first glance, but behind every screen were tiny stories. Friends planning coordinated outfits for nights out, teens experimenting with bold styles, families gifting clothing for birthdays or special occasions. Ordinary moments became digital rituals, small joys shared across screens that felt almost tangible. In the Style, once a vibrant UK online fashion hub, has faced challenges in a crowded retail space. What was once a go-to destination has almost vanished without a trace for some shoppers. Yet for those who remember, The thrill of discovering the perfect outfit, the excitement of sharing finds, and the joy of style at your fingertips linger vividly. It faded away, but its memory still defines a generation of youthful fashion, connection, and everyday delight. The high street supply stop, SOS Wholesale UK, the clang of trolleys, the hum of fluorescent lights, the faint scent of packaged goods. Stepping into SOS Wholesale felt like entering a bustling world of bargains and essentials. Shopkeepers, small business owners, and families wandered together, stocking up, comparing prices, and uncovering hidden gems. At first glance, it looked practical, aisles filled with bulk goods, household items, and everyday essentials. In reality, it was much more. Behind the counters and the shelves were tiny stories, an owner finding the perfect stock for loyal customers, families collecting weekly supplies, and staff guiding shoppers through the labyrinth of products. Ordinary trips became small adventures, routine yet full of purpose. Recently, SOS Wholesale closed several UK locations, leaving familiar shopping haunts emptier than before. What was once everywhere has almost vanished without a trace. Yet for those who remember, the clink of tins, the shuffle of carts, and the satisfaction of discovering a bargain linger vividly. It faded away, but its memory still defines a generation of practical shopping, community connection, and high street vitality. Lending a helping hand, Scott & Mears, Credit Services, UK. The soft click of typewriters, the hum of office chatter, the rustle of forms. Stepping into Scott & Mears Credit Services felt like entering a quiet world where financial dreams took shape. Families, small business owners, and everyday citizens wandered in, seeking advice, arranging loans, or managing repayments. At first glance, it looked practical, rows of desks, paperwork, and ledger books. In reality, it was much more. Behind each counter were tiny stories, a young couple securing their first home, families arranging school fees, and business owners finding funds to grow. Ordinary visits carried weight, routine yet deeply meaningful, moments that shaped lives, one form at a time. Scott & Mears. Credit Services Limited eventually closed, leaving a gap in local financial support networks. What was once a trusted presence has almost vanished without a trace. Yet for those who remember, the scratch of pens, the quiet guidance of staff, and the relief of securing help linger vividly. It faded away, but its memory still defines a generation of trust, community care, and the quiet lifelines that made everyday life possible. Building Britain's foundations, Carillion UK. The hum of machinery, the echo of footsteps on steel frameworks, the scent of fresh concrete. Stepping onto a Carillion site felt like witnessing progress come to life, for communities, workers, and local businesses alike. It was just normal life to see schools, hospitals, roads, and offices take shape under careful planning and skilled hands. At first glance, it looked practical, scaffolding, cranes, and construction equipment. In reality, it was much more. Behind every site were tiny stories, engineers coordinating complex builds, workers shaping structures with care, and residents watching new spaces emerge that would soon shape daily life. Ordinary days carried the promise of change, milestones measured in concrete, steel, and quiet dedication. Carillion, once one of the UK's largest construction and facilities management companies, collapsed in 2018, leaving unfinished projects and financial shockwaves. What was once everywhere has almost vanished without a trace. Yet for those who remember, the sight of towering cranes, the rhythm of construction, and the excitement of new spaces linger vividly. It faded away, but its memory still defines a generation of ambition, craftsmanship, and building Britain's legacy. Where joy was in the aisles, the entertainer. UK, the soft rustle of packaging, the hum of excited chatter, the gleam of toys on neatly stacked shelves. Stepping into the entertainer felt like entering a world of pure delight. For children, parents, and gift seekers alike, it was just normal life to wander the aisles, marvel at the newest toys, and imagine hours of play and adventure. At first glance, it looked practical: dolls, board games, action figures, and gadgets arranged with care. In reality, it was much more. Behind every shelf were tiny stories: a child clutching their first plush toy, friends comparing games, parents hunting for birthday presents that would spark joy. Ordinary trips became magical rituals, punctuated by laughter, squeals of excitement, and the thrill of discovery. The entertainer grew into a beloved high street staple, yet the rise of online shopping and changing retail habits shifted the way his toys were discovered. What was once everywhere has almost vanished without a trace. Yet for those who remember, the smell of fresh packaging, the thrill of discovering a new game, and the laughter of children linger vividly. It faded away, but its memory still defines a generation of fun, wonder, and shared joy. Which of these high street moments takes you straight back to your childhood? The smell of new toys, the rustle of shopping bags, the clink of coins? Share your memories in the comments, and subscribe to keep these vanished high street stories alive, one nostalgic journey at a time.